Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching Lee Health's Healthcare Heroes Self-Care Moment, and this is Nicole Traum. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching. This week we've been talking about letting go. And letting go it's this big idea in mindfulness, right? It's a big idea in our lives of realizing when we're holding on too much and then trying to let go. And it's definitely a practice of mindfulness. And as we come into this practice of mindfulness, what happens is we start to observe things. And one of the things that happens is we observe our thoughts. And I think this is a really important piece here, is that a lot of times our thoughts are stories, right? They're stories that we create around a situation, around an experience, around a memory. And the more we end up sucked into those stories, the less we're in the present moment. And so it's important for us to recognize when we're telling these stories, and sometimes they're like excuses or their beliefs or anything like that, but we get caught up in them. I can't be the only one that does this. I know that I'm not, because it is something, right? And we start to get sucked in, and then we end up with all this time in our minds overthinking, being distracted, and not being in the present moment. So what we're going to do today is think about those stories that we tell ourselves. We'll take a few moments in the beginning, and instead of pushing them away, it's okay if they're there, right? But allow yourself to notice when you go into those stories, and then bring yourself back into the present moment, noticing the sensations, noticing this. When we start to do it in small ways, it starts to become a bigger practice, and it starts to come into bigger parts of our lives. So it's a practice, definitely. And I will tell you that, I'm aware of this, and I still do it all the time, and I have to be like, okay, Nicole, get out of your head and start to think about this. So it's okay if that's your practice, right? Know that it's not perfect, and just because now you're aware of it, it's going to magically go away. This is something that most of us have probably done since we were children, and it's something that we'll do until we die. So it's a place where we have to just become more mindful and bring in that practice. So let's start here by sitting up nice and tall and closing your eyes. And as you close your eyes and turn within, just begin to notice how your body's feeling this morning. Checking in with your breath. Letting go of any tension here in your shoulders. So let your shoulders, you can move them around a little bit. Let those shoulders move away from your ears. That's it. Good. Shift your weight side to side in your hips. Good. And then even walk your feet a little bit. So just kind of take a couple steps here. Feel your feet pressing down into the earth. That's one way that we can ground ourselves. You can do this inside. You can do it outside. It's nice to do it outside barefoot in the ground. But if you can't, you can always do it on your carpet in the house. So here, as you turn within now, begin to just notice where your mind goes. So it's funny because sometimes your mind goes to the most random thing, and there's this whole elaborate story around it. So acknowledge that as you breathe. And then come back to the sensation of your breath moving in through your nose and then out through your nose and your mouth. And just observe the thoughts that come up. Observe all those stories. Sometimes there's value in them, right? But we just don't want to be sucked into them forever. Inhaling and exhaling. That's it. One more round of breath. Good. Let's inhale our arms up and overhead, reaching up tall. Exhale as you lower your arms back down. Nice big inhale here, stretching up. Good. Exhale as you lower the arms, starting to bring some movement into the shoulders, into the upper back. Keep pressing your feet down, sitting up tall. Good. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, bringing those arms down. Good. And now we're going to add on to this. So we're going to inhale our arms up, and as you exhale, you can bow forward. Ooh, big stretch into the back body. Inhaling and exhaling. When we move our bodies, it really does take us out of our minds, even just for a moment. So let yourself feel all those sensations here. Big inhale. Good. Big exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. And then as you come all the way up through center, stretch your arms out. Start to turn your palms to face up and lift your chin. So nice big opening here. A little bit of a back bend. Good. And then bring your chin down, turn your palms down, and just start to round just the upper back and neck. And then we'll inhale and turn up, opening the chest. Good. Exhale and turn down. Looking down, turning the hands back. 2 more times. Big inhale. Good, and big exhale. Last one. Your arms are starting to get a little tired. That's okay. And then as you come on out, now you're going to feel it on top of the shoulders. So just start to move your shoulders onto your back. Perfect. All right, let's come in and do a little bit of twisting. Today we're going to bring our hands in front of our heart in prayer position. So as you press your palms together, notice that sensation. That's another way of coming back into the present moment, feeling the way that your hands feel against each other. Press the palms together and bring your shoulders onto your back. So just feeling that engagement, and then inhale to the right and exhale to the left. So just going side to side. Keep pressing your palms together so you feel that spot behind your shoulder blades, behind your heart center, starting to engage, maybe even starting to move a little bit. Keep pressing the feet down into the earth. Good. 2 more times to each side. So right and left. Good. And then right and left. Perfect job. Good. Come on back and let's make some circles now. Coming round and round in your chair, releasing your hips, releasing the low back a little bit. That's it. And then change your direction. So just going around again, opposite way, feeling yourself as you move, as you breathe, as you come back to that present moment. And it's a practice that it's something that's every moment of our day pretty much can be part of that. Good. And then coming on back, let's bring our legs out wide. Just take a nice big forward stretch here. So with the knees out as wide as your chair, inhale your arms up and then exhale and just start to reach forward. So inhaling up, good. Exhale, extending, pressing down through your feet and your hips. Inhale and exhale. Good. Let's do 2 more like that. Big inhale, stretching tall. Big exhale as you bow and stretch. And then last time, as you come forward here, you can stay here or you can bring your hands down. I can't even touch the ground. It's too early for me yet. So whatever works here, take another deep breath. And then we're going to roll ourselves on up and roll those shoulders onto the back. Good. Bring your legs back in. Come on up to standing. Remember, you want to scoot forward in your chair. Lean forward, getting your nose over your toes, and then come all the way up. All right. So we're going to use our chair today, and we're going to do some lunging. So I want you to use the back of your chair, and we'll start with our right leg forward and our left foot back. And what we'll do here is we'll just start to bend into that right knee and straighten it. So see if you can go a little bit further back with your back leg so you feel that nice stretch into the back thigh. Good. Bending and straightening. Bend and straighten. Good. Now keep your front knee bent and just start to look up. So you can, I actually press my hands down into the chair and lift up, and I'm feeling a big stretch into the front of the body, the top of that right thigh. Good. Lift your right arm up. Let yourself breathe here as you bend nice and deep. Big extension. Let's take another deep breath. Good. And then slowly come on out and we'll make our way to down dog. So hands can stay on your chair. Walk yourself back so that your hips reach back. Your arms are straight, your legs are straight, and then just rock side to side. Let yourself breathe. Feel all those sensations that come up. That's it. And then we're going to come back in, and now we'll step the right foot forward and the left foot back. So starting here in that nice long lunge, you might have to go back a little further. Bend into your front knee and then start to straighten it. So bending and straightening here. Feeling the back leg working. Good. Keep the bend in your front knee. Lift your left arm up. Extend it up tall as you breathe. That's it. Good. Take another deep breath here. And then we'll come on back and make our way back to down dog. So coming back, just taking that nice long stretch, moving your hips. Perfect. And then drop your right hand down and look out underneath to the left. So you can even bring your hand to your leg if you want. Just getting in a little extra twist here, a little extra stretch. Let's take another 2 breaths here. That's it, good. And then we'll come on up, bringing your left hand to the chair. Your right hand comes down. You can look out underneath your left arm. Just feeling yourself stretch here. Breathing. So I can't quite touch the ground. It's okay for me to kind of extend the arm, but if you need to, you can bring your hand to your leg. Come all the way back up. Good. And then let's make our way back to our seat as we come back and connect. So let yourself get comfortable in your chair. And before we do our meditation, I wanted to share a little quote about the stories that we tell ourselves. All right. So let go of certainty. The opposite isn't uncertainty. It's openness, curiosity, and a willingness to embrace paradox rather than choose up sides. I think when we tell ourselves these stories, we're choosing sides, right? We're creating this whole narrative. The ultimate challenge is to accept ourselves exactly as we are, but never stop trying to learn and grow. All right, so that's where we bring in that mindfulness practice. That was by Tony Schwartz. So as we come in now to take our comfortable seat, you can sit with your legs crossed, you can sit with your feet on the floor, whatever feels good here. But feel that support underneath you and let yourself start to come into the present moment. So rock yourself side to side, kind of work the flesh of your seat out from underneath you so you can sit up a little taller. Feel your low back supported here. And if you're not feeling that, I suggest scooting your booty back, bowing forward a little, so scooting it back and then coming upright. So that way you're really supported in your low back and you can have a little bit of a curve, an arch in your low back as opposed to a rounding. All right, let those shoulders come onto your back and feel yourself breathing now. So we're gonna practice just a mindful breath. And as things come up, I just want you to name them. Okay, so we're gonna notice them things around us, right? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna have a little quiet time to yourself. And as things come up, you can say, okay, that's a thought. Okay, that's a story, right? Maybe it's even more than just a little thought. Or that's a sensation, but letting yourself name what comes up as you come into stillness and quietness. And it's a small practice, but it's something that helps us to start to settle and release. So as you sit up nice and tall, you can start with your eyes open. Inhale and exhale through your mouth. Just noticing what's around you. Big inhale. Big exhale. One more time. This next time, as you close your eyes, just begin to soften and sit back in your chair and start to just notice what's around you. So even the second we close our eyes, sometimes our thoughts go towards these stories. So see if you can notice them, step back, and start to notice the other things around you. So starting here with any sounds, just start to listen, soften your ears, listening for any sounds that are far away, any sounds that maybe are moving around in your home, any sounds in the room that you're in, even listening for the sound of your own breath. That's an important one because it's a built-in way to be mindful. So when you start to feel overwhelmed, just listening for the breath can be the saving grace. It can be the thing that grounds you back down. So let yourself listen for that and follow it. And then start to notice sensations. Notice how your body feels. Is the air warm? Is the air around you cool? How does the clothing on your body feel? What's the sensation of the chair or the floor underneath you? Listening again for your breath. Noticing when the thoughts come up and just saying, okay, that's a thought. I'm going to come back to my breath. Okay, that's a story. I'm going to go back to my breath. Just giving yourself the space to practice coming back, turning back. If you want, you can start to count your breath now, counting your inhale and counting your exhale, going all the way up to 10, and then starting back again. And this is a nice practice because as you find yourself distracted, you can just come back to whatever number you left off on. If you can't remember, then you just start at 1 again. Letting your shoulders soften and your hips release. Just following your breath in through your nose, out through your nose and your mouth. know that the distractions and the stories are normal. And then bring yourself back. With your next exhale, you can let your mind go wherever it wants to go. Starting to bring some movement to your fingers and your toes. If you want to take a nice stretch here, you can extend your arms, rock side to side. Good. And then bring yourself back to the present here, bringing your hands back in front of your heart, giving yourself a moment to pause. So this is a practice that you can bring in every moment, or maybe in these more mindful moments, but just remembering that they're just a thought, right? And sometimes we need to escape, and that's okay, right? If things are so overwhelming and you need to escape, go for it, but then try and come back and find that breath. Just even listen for the sound of the breath. I promise you that it will make life a lot more bearable, especially when you're feeling the weight of the world. So thank you so much for tuning in today. For your courageousness, I bow to you. Namaste. Thanks for watching Lee Health's Healthcare Heroes Self-Care Moment. This has been Nicole Traum. We'll be back tomorrow at 6:40 a.m. Hope to see you then. Feel free to share this with your friends. It'll be available right after the recording. And have a great week, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.